A seventh grader's Star Wars t-shirt is banned from school because it includes a photo of a ray gun. Students are told to practice calligraphy by writing the phrase, "There is no God but Allah and Muhammad is the message of Allah." And who was the most Google searched person in America in 2015? Don't ask. My name is Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr, and in the book, Riell Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM, The Lion, and the call-in number 877-254-7524, unquote. My friends, I dread presenting this first item to you today because of what it says about us, about America. But my job is to present the news, and so I will do it. Item from USA Today. From Lamar Odom's bizarre breakdown to the multiple terrorist attacks in France, Google users searched for it all. The search giant released its annual list of most searched terms on Wednesday, and Odom topped the list globally in the United States. Lamar Odom's saga fascinated people who aren't even sports fans because he married reality TV star Khloe Kardashian in 2009, while he was still a key player on a Laker team that went on to win its second consecutive NBA championship. He hasn't played in the NBA since 2013. During Odom's stay in Nevada, brothel workers said they saw him drinking alcohol and taking supplements sold as herbal Viagra. The brothel's owner said Odom had spent $75,000 on two women who took him to a VIP suite. Unquote. So, my friends, let's cut through the wicket here. The most Google item in America in 2015 was not the collected works of William Shakespeare. Wasn't the Bible, wasn't the Constitution, and you'll be surprised to know it wasn't Riell Truth. More people in America were captivated, fascinated, drawn to Lamar Odom and Khloe Kardashian and drugs and prostitutes than anything else in America. Well, my friends, we've arrived once again at that all too familiar place. You've heard me refer to it before, at which I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Nothing and no one interested Americans more in 2015 than Lamar Odom. Not the way we're being surveilled by our government, not the way Muslims are hacking off heads and blowing things up, not the way the healthcare industry has been ruined, not the way our incomes have been kept low. None of these things. Not the ongoing onslaught against Israel by Arab countries and, by the way, Europe and the United States. None of those things interested people all that much. No. Lamar Odom and his prostitutes and his drugs and his wife, that's what fascinated more Americans this year than anything else. Well, my friends, let us, what's the expression from Richard II? Let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the deaths of kings. Let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of American culture, American society. It's gone. It's gone. Lamar Odom. Item from judicialwatch.org. A Middle Eastern woman was caught surveilling a U.S. port of entry on the Mexican border, holding a sketchbook with Arabic writing and drawings of the facility and its security system, federal law enforcement sources tell Judicial Watch. The woman has been identified as 23-year-old Layla Abdulrazak, according to a Customs and Border Patrol report obtained by JW this week. Abdul Razak appeared to have two accomplices, a 31-year-old man named Gabriel Chabon and a 28-year-old woman named Leslie McAfee. CBP agents noticed the trio observing the facilities at the port of Mariposa in Nogales, Arizona on December 2nd. Shabani said was first noticed inside the entrance of the pedestrian area while the two women stood outside the entry door, the CPB document states. When federal officers asked Abdul-Razak why she was drawing sketches of the facilities, she, quote, stated, because she's never been to the border, unquote, according to the CBP report. Abdul-Razak resisted showing officers the sketchbook, citing personal reasons, but subsequently handed it over. During the inspection of the Abdul-Razak sketchbook, CBPOs noticed the book contained writings in English and Arabic, federal officers write in the document. There were drawings of what appeared to be vehicle primary inspection areas and an additional drawing of pedestrian turnstile gate depicting video surveillance cameras above the gate. The report proceeds to reveal the drawings were, quote, partial and incomplete. The distressing information comes on the heels of two separate and equally alarming incidents in the same vicinity. A few weeks ago, JW reported that 5 Middle Eastern men were apprehended by the U.S. Border Patrol in Amado, an Arizona town situated about 30 miles from the Mexican border. 2 of the men were carrying stainless steel cylinders in backpacks, alarming Border Patrol officials enough to call the Department of Homeland Security for backup. DHS officially denies this ever occurred, but law enforcement and other officials have confirmed to JW that the 2 men carrying the cylinders were believed to have been taken into custody by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, unquote. Is it important to keep Muslims who are outside the United States from coming here? Of course it is, and Donald Trump is completely right. However, it's only half the equation. It's also important to know that Muslims here in the United States are plotting and planning and waiting and infiltrating to commit acts of terror. And so no, keeping Muslims out of the United States is only part of the problem, part of the solution. The other part is worrying about Muslims in the United States of America like these people. My friends, all I can do is reiterate what I have many times iterated. You cannot have Muslims causing terrorist attacks in the United States if there are no Muslims in the United States. Inescapable logic. We'll be back with more Real Truth.
We all know that our government is out of control. Who are the people in it? How can we, the people, bring back to the people's service, not the people's masters? Liberty, power, and freedom of their state. Officials in the government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com.
Let's keep telling you we're calling to honor our fighting men and women and all the veterans who have gone before you. We salute you and thank you for your sacrifice. Our prayers go with you and your family. This military tribute must be daily at 4212 South College Avenue in Fort Collins. Check out our daily specials or call for delivery. 970-226-1711. That's 970-226-1711. Great people, great food, great service. Call today. And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Here we go. Get ready. And welcome back to Riell Truth. Howard Riell behind the microphone. There are certain truisms that we know are true. The sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and all the Muslims hate Donald Trump because of what he said publicly, right? Well, I'm pretty confident about the sun, but not so much about the Muslims. Here's a clip from Fox News. The show is called Hannity. A Muslim community leader supports Donald Trump's proposed ban. Pretty interesting. Here we go. Of course she's willing to gamble with it. She's just said it. She wants Muslims to come to America, and if Muslims kill people, oh, well, that's tough. My friends, we have the same thing among Latinos. They want illegal immigrants to be allowed to come here and stay here. And if illegal immigrants bring with them, crime and drugs and horrible diseases and third world ignorant, well, then that's just the price America will have to pay. Neither of those parties, not the Muslims and not the Latinos, neither really cares for America, certainly not for America first. They care about themselves. That's the kind of selfishness that gets countries in a lot of hot water, and America is in a lot of hot water because we've become balkanized. I want what I want, and I don't give a rat's ass what anyone else wants. Well, that's the death of countries. And we got to prevent that from taking more of a hold here than we already have. Item from Aura.tv. It looks like the wealthy donors are emptying their wallets for 2016's presidential election. Bloomberg estimates that spending for the 2016 elections may approach $10 billion, far outpacing 2012's $7 billion. The Republican hopefuls, including those who have now dropped out, have garnered well over $260 million in super PAC money, or dark money as labeled by the OpenSecrets.org website. This is huge when compared to the Democratic hopefuls, who've only taken in $17.1 million. The 2016 hopeful who's raised the most money is Jeb Bush. Bush has taken in $103.2 million in dark money, unquote. My friends, I have to laugh at that. Jeb Bush is such a weenie. He's such a zero. He's such a nothing. But the powers that be thought that the Bush name would carry him into the White House and they would all be able to slime their way into the White House with him. Well, guys, you pissed away $103 million plus. You backed the wrong horse because Jeb Bush has nothing to say that America is interested in. I can only point out in retrospect that you would have done a lot better giving that $103 million to me. Item from the Financial Times. 1 month into a new job covering the U.S. presidential campaign, I'm starting to find that the Trump phenomenon is more understandable when viewed through the lens of a Putin-Trump Venn diagram, or rather, the Venn diagram of their supporters. 2 weeks ago in Macon, at a stadium full of diehard Trump supporters, I met Tal Wolschlager, a law student, who declared apropos of nothing and with no knowledge of my background that he wanted to see a U.S. president more like Mr. Putin. I think Putin is brilliant, the 20-something Mr. Wolschlager told me, as two of his friends nodded in agreement. He's taking care of business the way he has to. His country loves him. He's done well for them. He does what he says and he gets the job done. He continued, quote, "We just have to reassert ourselves. We've got to the point where Britain and France can't look to us for advice because we can't make the first move anymore, because really we're too weak. We need to get our seat back at the table," unquote. My friends, I myself, your humble host right here on the show, have said on several occasions, I admire Mr. Putin's leadership. Now, Putin is a criminal and a gangster and a thug. No question about that. But he also does the best for his people. He leads his people effectively, doesn't care what people think of him, doesn't care what people say about him, doesn't care what other countries do. His job, as he sees it, is to do for the Russian people. Would to God that we had a president who was like that. Absolutely. Who didn't care about being PC, who cared about results because he cared about his people. The only two people I see on the board who answer to that description are Donald Trump and to a lesser degree Ted Cruz. Mainly just Donald Trump. And so, yeah, it makes perfect sense that someone at the Trump rally would praise Mr. Putin's leadership. Not his character, but his leadership. Because I do the same. Item. From Reuters, 2 people have been arrested at a refugee center in the Austrian city of Salzburg on suspicion of being connected to last month's Paris attacks, the Salzburg prosecutor's office said on Wednesday. That's today. The 2 men who are thought to have provided help to members of the group that carried out the attacks on November 13th, in which 130 people were killed, 2 Austrian newspapers reported. 2 people who arrived from the Middle East were arrested at the weekend in accommodation for refugees on suspicion of belonging to a terrorist organization said Robert Holtzleitner, a spokesman for the Salzburg prosecutor's office, unquote. So in other words, these guys were not carrying bombs. They were not carrying guns. As far as I know, they weren't on anyone else's search list. And yet they were actively involved in terror. That's called Islam. People in San Bernardino, law-abiding, moderate Muslims, right up until the time they started slaughtering innocent men and women. Item from the Daily Mail: Barack Obama has been savaged by a top spending campaigner for taking the first family on an 8th consecutive Christmas vacation to Hawaii at huge expense to the American taxpayer. The president was accused of treating Air Force One, which costs $206,000 an hour to run, like an Uber ride ahead of his next jaunt to his home state. Flight time alone will set taxpayers back somewhere in the region of $3.5 million, as Obama, the First Lady, Sasha, and Malia, and their 2 dogs jet off for around 2 weeks. Unquote. My friends, the Obamas are pigs. The people who voted for them are ignoramuses. And people who think Hillary Clinton is going to be any different or any better than Barack Obama, well, they're just about almost basically too stupid to live. Item from the Reagan Coalition: liberals in New York have banned the Pledge of Allegiance from being recited in a public school. Santa Claus has also been banned. Thanksgiving's been replaced with Harvest Festival, and Christmas may no longer be called Christmas. This is getting outrageous. We definitely cannot say Christmas. Nothing with Christmas on it. Nothing with Santa, said PTA President Mimi Farrar. PTA President Mimi Farrar said she was told that by administrators. Quote, no angels. We can't even have a star because it represents a religious system like the Star of David. Liberals have gone too far this time. Do you think every school in America should be able to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Unquote. My friends, when I was a kid going to grade school, I was one of those weird kids when they played the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning and all the other kids were laughing and talking and sitting there. I stood up. And of course they made fun of me. But I thought that the United States of America, the Pledge of Allegiance, deserves some respect. I really did. Well, now it's getting no respect, not from the kids, which is understandable at least, getting no respect from the school administrators. My friends, you can travel far and wide, high and low. Look for the stupidest single body of people, the dumbest collection of humans available. And yeah, you might point your finger at Hillary and Obama supporters, and I couldn't argue with you. But I'm here to tell you, when you look at educational officials, school administrators, you could go through an entire school district and not find a collective IQ over 50. I don't know what happened to schools. I guess teachers become administrators. I have traditionally been liberal, but my God, banning the Pledge of Allegiance? That is one of the symptoms of the death of America, and I hope that you will get loud and get active and call the school districts where you live and the school administrators and call the mayor also and say, don't you dare ban the Pledge of Allegiance. It speaks to pride in our nation, and pride is so important, so vital to the success of any enterprise, especially a city, a state, a federal government. Stealing the pride from our children is stealing something very, very valuable from them and absolutely necessary for the success of the United States. We'll take a break. Riell Truth. Well, it marches on, doesn't it?
Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about having your own backyard chickens? Now you have a source for certified organic, no GMO, no soy chicken feed. HappyHens.biz can even deliver, or you can pick up. Call me, Tim, at 303-829-5948, or go to HappyHens.biz for pricing and ingredients. At HappyHens.biz, we love HappyHens.biz. Or call us at 303-829-5948. Read the
Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981. Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom tailored capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 10 through 13. Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell Truth. You know, for some people, it's a numbers game. You watch the news, you listen, and they say, look, the percentage of radicalized Muslims, extremist Muslims, is so small. That is a lie. Muslims who either commit extreme acts or who are okay with other Muslims committing extremist acts is staggeringly high. This is a video I've played on the show before. Ben Shapiro, you'll find it on my Facebook page. It's from truthrevolt.org, The Myth of the Tiny Radical Muslim Minority, and a myth it is. Let's listen.
I'm Ben Shapiro with Riell. A couple weeks ago,
That's true. 800 million Muslims at least, are okay with radicalized Islam in some instances, at least, if not all. 800 million. That's not a tiny minority that have hijacked a religion. That's a majority of Muslims. Of course, we all know that Islam is not really religion, it's just a cult, but let's not split hairs. Item. From the New York Daily News, a routine municipal ceremony has become seeped in controversy after a Brooklyn civil court judge was sworn in using the Quran. Caroline Walker Diallo, who was elected last month in Brooklyn's 7th Municipal District, took her oath of office Thursday using the Holy Book of Islam as a testament to her Muslim faith. The swearing-in session went off without a hitch, but after attendees posted video of the ceremony to social media, the backlash became so severe that some of Walker Diallo's supporters became concerned for her safety. Sickening, one Facebook user posted in response to the video. Is this America or the Middle East? Another piece of blank Muslim wrote another, trying to take over this country, unquote. My friends, if the friends and supporters of Walker Diallo are concerned for her safety, they have a right to be, because Muslim women tend to be beaten, tend to have their genitals mutilated, tend to be honor killed, and if she's a religious Muslim, I'm not sure how she gets to work unless her husband is driving her. Also, I want to know if she's arriving in a hijab. My friends, it's not good. We need to reverse this trend immediately and powerfully. We'll take a break. More Riell Truth to come. All right, guys, all done. Share this video with everybody. I'm looking at the numbers of people who are viewing my videos. It's not enough. We need more numbers. Share it. Stick this video everywhere in cyberspace that you can. We got to get big numbers. I will see you tomorrow. Hasta luego.